Okay. Welcome to Netpro Profession Tutorial Institute. At this juncture, you are here with me, Doctor Milambo, and just a reminder, Netpro Profession Tutorial Institute, it's still recruiting students in different skills. You are still invited to come and be part of this recruitment, which is the June-July intake 2025. So we are requesting you to come and be part of it. At this point, we are going to look at a lesson in psychosocial counseling diploma, which is entitled Harmful of Alcohol and Drugs. Harmful of alcohol and drugs. I know many people, they don't understand. Others will begin to start saying, what is harmful and the alcohol drugs? So we have overview, and in the overview there are 5 points where we're going to look the law that regulates sales and consumption of alcohol. Adequate. The biggest challenge in Zambia is with enforcement of such laws. And in Zambia, alcohol is consumed at weddings, schools, kitchen parties, birthday parties, in markets, in homes, offices, cars and planes, also in restaurants and etc. We find alcohol everywhere. Also, we are going to look at drunkenness. Drunkenness is a huge problem, and because of this, many culture and religions have outlawed it, and all those things are going to be categorized and talked. We also look at the peak age for alcohol abuse and addiction are aged about 15 to 26 years. 15 to 26 years. It is a clear indication that families are not performing their jobs. So this is a part of the overview content has continued. Also, the abuse of hard drugs has been also documented in all countries, Zambia included. The first hard drug is to hit headlines in Zambia was the Madrax in the 1980s. At that time, majority Zambia knew very little about drug abuse, not until the DEC was informed in January 1990. So you need to take note of that. January 1990, that's when the DEC was formed. DEC helped to raise awareness on the drugs of abuse. Now, most of people, they don't understand what are the drug abuse, what are the examples. So today we are going to look also on the examples of good liquors. There are those people, liquors, who normally sell liquors and other things. So, if we look at the law of Zambia, 167 law of the Zambia, which prohibits sales or delivery of alcohol to children below 14 years. I think most of you people, we have gone into bars. You find the lie to say prohibited, no underage and the age which they have put is 18 years and 16 years. So according to the law of Zambia, alcohol to children is below 14 years. Persons under the age of 16 are prohibited from entering a bar. Persons under the age of 18 are prohibited from buying or consuming intoxicating liquor in any bar. In any bar, any license who sells intoxicating liquor to a drunken person shall be guilty of an offense. We are looking on the law number 167 laws of Zambia. Any person who aids a drunken person is obtaining intoxicating liquor shall be guilty of an offense. 53. So that is one thing that can show you to say DEC has helped families from beer therapy and drug abuse. We have timeline. In timelines where we look at 2006, the hospitals were increased the admissions due to substance misuse in all province. Ministry of Health in 2009. In 2007 to 2012, we had to Jiri related deaths reported. 2009, Ministry of Health and Zambia Breweries and the civil society began journey to develop first alcohol policy. You see, first alcohol policy, which was done in hand with the DEC. 2010, government reduces tax on important alcohol drinks. I'm sure you are noticing the dates and the year. 2012, government bans to Jiri and the sale of alcohol in supermarkets after 19 hours. Those laws were implemented. And in 2012, reverses ban on alcohol sales after Zambians complained. They started complaining. So we are taught to say death came for a purpose, and we have seen from the time in Memorial 1990 to 2012 how DEC has worked with the Ministry of Health and the Drug Society of Zambia on how to reduce and implement certain measures to see that people of Zambia have reduced in what? In alcohol. And then there is what we call, what are psychoactive drugs? That question might be there. When we talk of psychoactive, we are simply talking about the drugs that can work with the brain of a person. So psychoactive drugs are substances which can take changes a person's behavior. You find a person from nowhere is drunk, he sees a fly, he starts laughing. He sees these pictures, he starts laughing just from nowhere. Those what we call psychoactives, psychosis, neurosis, all those things. When taking changes behavior, you find that moods, thoughts, and perception, the way they look at things, sense of mind, seeing, hearing, taste, smell, and feelings, everything will change. Everything changes. That is sometimes called feeling high. When a person is drunk, you say, me, I'm high. They don't know that they have abused the what? The drugs. And then we have also what we call much of the effect of drugs on an individual depends on extent on the genes that are inherited from the family. You'll find some other family, maybe the father was a drunkard person, and it's in the lineage of the family. Everybody comes would want to do the same. So beer or other drugs are good and are bad to the humankind. We have good drugs like Panadol, penicillin, doxycycline. Those are good drugs for the human, but you don't need to abuse them also because they can kill you. Then we have those commonly psychoactive drugs, which we have like tobacco, cigarette, sunko, kuba. Yeah, those are things which women put here and start putting on the mouth and also in the nose. Others they believe to say, especially in sunko, when a woman put it here, it is burning the body so that a man can feel happy and feel home, which is not the right purpose of it. There's alcohol like beer, wine, ciders, spirits, all those things, cannabis, ganja, Indian hemp, chamba hemp, Valium. Those Valium are psychotropic drugs. We also have inhalat, blue, petrol. I've seen people use petrol, smoke petrol, and say, when I take smoke of petrol, I become high. And the nail polish as well. Other people, they smell it. Cocaine. And also opioids, heroins, we have codeines, morphine. I think morphine mostly, others they use it for writer, others they use it for different purpose. Also we have escatas, ARVs, sex booster, blue diamond, mutototo. Mutototo has killed the people, mutototo, because others they don't know to say certain drugs doesn't react just there and then. Certain drugs may take time for them to rise. So a person is expecting, no, my penis is not standing, probably I've taken a little. You would want to add on. And at the end of the day, you find that a person finds himself in a problem. When it stands, probably the expectations are not done, a lady is not around, so all those things becomes a problem. When you go through those things, we also look at the classification of psychoactive drugs. These things you must believe to know that they are classified in class. There is what we call depressants, stimulants, and hallucinogens. Hallucinogens, those alcohol, like depressants, we have alcohol. And then stimulates, we have amphetamine. And then hallucinogens, we have LSD. Benzothine is also under on the depressants. Opioids, solvents, barbiturates, cannabis, low doses, those they go on depressants. Stimulates, we have methamphetamine, cocaine, nicotine and tobacco, cat, caffeine, and eschatas. And then when we go on the hallucinogens, we have mescaline, PCP, ketamine, cannabis, of course, also is there, magic mushroom, and MDMA. For those who are in health, they understand what it means. Now, what are the symptoms or rather synaptic activity when you take those things? You find is what we call dopamine, which comes on the skin with different types of signs. Also dopamine receptors, those falls under the skin programs. Certain people, you find that the skin changes because there are so many examples which we can give, or many causes that to make people sometimes to change the skin. Obviously, they don't bath, they take beer without eating, they abuse alcohol without also properly taking care of themselves. As a result, certain tissues on the body will start changing inside. And also, what are the people experience when they are in this, where we suddenly felt very afraid that started learning for cover. When you start learning for cover, sometimes you'll be helped. At some point, you find that it is too late. I felt right as if I was floating in the air. That's when now they are intoxicated and they feel as if they can do anything. I started hearing sounds of different insects making loud noise in my ears, which goes with irritability. Those falls under stimulation, where you begin now to start having ear sounds which you never expected before you abuse the drugs. I didn't know that I was urinating in front of people at a party. Why? Because I'm intoxicated. Now I'm normal. I've started realizing my mistakes. I mistook our mango tree for a ghost and started running in the opposite direction. That is cannabis or ginger or ganja. When you took it, you begin, others you find that they start eating big shima. See, take a small shima. Where there are two people, you see a number of people. And at the end of the day, your brain begins to start capturing certain or different objects. I failed to concentrate at a meeting, so I walked out. Why? Because you abused the drugs. What are the effects of drugs on brain? 1, blood flow. Other bloods flow normal. Alcohol at 25 years. Cocaine 2 years. Marijuana 12 years in the body. And if they are not treated very well, that's the end of that beautiful body or a good body. What happened after the drugs to the brain? Cocaine abuse, and also cocaine abuse to 100 days abstinence. Can also abuse to 10 days abstinence. So certain things we really need to avoid them before they affect our body.